ethical, we're abiding by like these laws, you know, whatever, morality. But the animals that you're protecting don't even abide by those standards either. So it's a bit confusing for me when like ethics come into it. Cause I'm like, hold on, nobody, like no participating party is ethical technically.
So it's just, so animals aren't part of the moral calculus, and that is because they can't reciprocate rights. You can't go to a dog or a lion or a bear or a chicken and say, okay, we're going to, I'm going to include you in the moral calculus, therefore you're going to make decisions that are moral. So because animals aren't included in the moral calculus, we're left to make the decisions for them, for what is or what should or shouldn't be, right? Our choices. So that would be my best explanation as to why they're just doing, they're amoral. The state of nature is amoral. It's not moral, it's not immoral, it's just amoral.
I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the way that what makes it like balanced to then call it unethical. You know what I mean? Like I know that they're immoral. They can't reciprocate that. But as far as humans, how we're interacting with that, if they can't abide by that, why are we putting the standard on other humans to abide by what then animals can't even abide by?
And that's a great question, and I appreciate you for asking it. And that's why I said I'm no longer a full-on ethical vegan, and I wouldn't give myself that honor. I would like to get back to that, just to be able to be extreme and have conversation and get other people to be thinking about it, because I noticed that when I stopped becoming an ethical vegan, the conversation becomes much less, and I was able to share a lot more and make a lot more people conscious of all of the harms that animal agriculture it does cause. But to answer the question is, yeah, I was able to find a happy balance, right? So for example, we get frustrated, vegans, ethical vegans,
would
say that it's immoral
to abide by some expectation or standard that you set for yourself.
Right, so we would say it's immoral, for example, to take the bees' honey, because they're doing that for a specific purpose. That's their inherent purpose. That's how they've evolved to make sure that their species continues on, right? And what happens is humans interfere with that process, and then we replace their food, their very incredible food that they've created and spent their life force doing, with like sugar water to keep them going, and that's just fucked up. We see shit now going on with our bees, and that's a whole nother story. But this whole idea is the same thing. Same with animal agriculture. We don't have to consume the amount of animals that we do.
Yeah, and I think as somebody who comes from indigenous culture, we are taught to value those parts of the animals that we are consuming. We value it in that way. Whereas I think that what you're speaking to, those vegans, we value it so much we won't, participate. But I think that sentiment is still carried in people who aren't vegan.
So I have a question for Bima.
Can I add something to the conversation?
Well, hold on. Bima.
Yeah, go ahead, Jacobus. Thank you, Honorable Nathan. Monica, he said I could go. Calm down. Relax. So, I would say...
Okay, I'll go after Jacobus.
That's a good girl. Now, as I think of the Bible, right, and go back into the beginning, this that the original humans had a vegan diet. So from Noah all the way to Adam, they was eating this vegan diet. And the next thing you know, God makes a little rainbow after he floods the earth and tells him and his family, I give you permission to eat meat. So now we have, over 3,000 years later, a bunch of white folk thinking they're smarter than God, saying, no. Let's go back to the vegan diet. Let's do that. And I say, let's put... And let's eat what God said to eat. I know they want to talk over me, but go ahead. This is what y'all do.
I'm lost.
No, you cut out, Jacobus.
Jacobus, how old is the earth again?
No, don't worry. I can't even finish what I'm saying, so I'll let you white folk dance.
No, Jacobus, you cut out.
I'm sorry, B-Master. I don't see you.
I'm just trying to become a big content creator one day, but I have no supporters.
Speak to him in Jungle Booty Clapper then, Bima.
Jungle Booty Clapper?
Well,
Monica!
Yeah, they go to speak their heart. She go to finally speak her heart.
Wait a minute. You insulted us racially first,
told you that was racist. Wow.
I think what he said.
You're not going to defend her, B-Master? Defend your white sister.
I have a question. Oh, it is.
Stop
It's
it.
White Wednesday. I forgot. Yes. Now, a question for you, Jacobus. Is there any, and I'm actually not sure about this. I'm actually honest, genuinely asking. Was there ever an account of Jesus eating animal? Like, was there, like, actually eating the sheep? Like, eating the lamb or whatever?
Yeah.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the pets. Come on. It goes back to there. That's what You open the fucking door.
Jesus was big on barbecue. That's what I read.
Didn't he break the fish and feed the wine? He was doing something with the meat.
So we
Well, he was at very least a pescatarian, right?
we do
Yes.
know.
At the very least.
I know. We do know that Jesus ate and drank with sinners. So, yeah.
I would like a verse of Jesus eating lamb.
And that's why you're tolerating it.
Or any animal, fish,
I don't know if he's actually like in the Bible eating at any point. Like,
right?
yeah, I guess he
I don't think he did. I mean, come on, guys. I'm not a
So we
Christian.
go to the stool.
Is Jesus too holy to eat, or does he have an eating disorder?
I think he was a vegetarian. Last Supper. Last Supper.
He's talking about flesh, eating my flesh. Come on. You're
I'm
gonna
trying
be
to change his
Christians, I'm not.
All right. So, Bima, my question that I was going to ask after Jacobus took the stage and hung the mic is if you say nature is amoral, it's not moral or immoral, it's just amoral. And we see this, right? When like predators need prey, they need to eat to live. So them taking the most vulnerable of the elk or whatever, that's nature. We can't assign a moral value to their survival because it's their survival and they get to have it. So in nature, there are animals that will harvest honey from the beehive for survival. So you don't have a problem with the animals harvesting the honey from the beehive. Why do you have a problem with the human?
Yeah, because it affects it. So there's a delicate balance, right? So if an animal is harvesting honey from a beehive, it's not an overconsumption. It's not breeding and having a bunch of bees to intentionally destroy their inherent value, to take from what their purpose and intention was. That is part of the bee's life cycle of the planet. That is what is the cycle of life. There will be animals that will feed off of each other. Every species, every microorganism, they all have that. But that is the inherent. That is what's created us to be here and to have all of the amazing shit that we have. Humans go too far. They go the destructive route.
Do they?
Wait.
Because beekeepers, hold on. Wait a minute. Let me have this with Bima, please. Because it's lucrative and beneficial for the beekeepers to keep their bees happy and healthy so that they produce honey. It's not a mutually beneficial arrangement.
Well, no, because they're taking.
But you're putting moral value on it.
Right, because they're interfering with the process and we're taking from what they are supposed to be doing and we're saying, hey, we're going to take your food that your process and we're going to replace it with some sugar water, but keep producing for us and keep making.
But there's
right?
ethical ways as well. I mean, there's a lot of beekeepers tend to keep honey left enough for the bees and they don't take everything. That's usually what they tend to do.
And that's good. The over-harvesting,
Free range honey.
Have you guys ever seen a bear, what a bear does to a hive? I mean, if you invoke naturalism in the conversation, I don't know if you have like a ground to stand upon. But I also would like to say, why do we deem that natural things are amoral? I think the morality comes from, fitness. And in that regard, you can inject morality, not even inject morality. Morality and naturalism can work side by side, hand in hand. And there's actually a naturalistic argument against being vegan. because you're putting the rights and the value of animals above your own species, which to me is a very bizarre position to have. And this is why, radicals like PETA and the eco-terrorists, their behavior is deemed as completely insane, because they basically decided with species that they're not their own, and they put their interest in their survival above their own species. That's the bizarre part and unnatural part.
I have a quick question.
call
Why
it-
is no
I
one
would say-
defending
I
the
would say
plants?
call it
Don't plants want to live? Why is no one defending them? I'm being serious.
No,
one gives a
why
shit about the plants?
So no,
Just saying, people are eating all these plants and no one's picking up them. Plants don't want to be eaten.
No,
They have their own
that's
ecosystem to
absolutely
adhere to.
absolutely true. And the vegan philosophy also extends to plants. Absolutely, 110%. We shouldn't be destroying plants unnecessarily. We shouldn't be harming the ecosystem unnecessarily.
All of that garbage I let you spew. I mean, Steph liked it, but after all of that, I let you 20
Because
minutes.
Steph can't wait to be a slave in the kingdom. That's what.
Soul is being sucked out of me while we listen to this, and then I'm like, okay, dude, we gotta calm it down. I even gave you a warning that we needed to wrap up. You're like, ew, Edomite. Like, oh my gosh, no good deed goes unpunished. Which, I mean, God is punishing us probably because we let this go on and we should. So, yes,
Like I said, he just needs to go to convince his own people.
Hey, Nate. Hey, can I just tell LaRon? Hey, LaRon, just add him in back channel or something, Because there's people that can come out of this stuff. I've met a lot of them.
Wait.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
sure. So
That
someone
whole
can-
time, it escaped me that he thought that he also is an Israelite. Like Laurent, I did not get that. He was
that I
against
know
that.
what he's talking about.
So they have like the black diaspora that they believe in the people that were sold into transatlantic chattel slavery in certain camps, and then you have others that believe just that they adhere to the Tanakh, that makes them an Israelite, or that then there's other groups that believe that they are Israelites even though they're from West Africa and stuff.
well,
So there's like a bunch of nuance.
let's see what to say. Joy, what's up? How's your day?
Oh, I just got my coffee and I came to listen to the world famous Nate
Johnny boy.
Christian Debate Room. It never disappoints. You're a good moderator and Clubhouse netizen. I'm just praying to God that everyone can get a free turkey from their local Democrat shill.
There's another Messianic Jew for you, Nate, right there. Joy. John Kidova.
I don't know if you'd call me a Messianic Jew, but I like the Kabbalah. I think it's a positive 10-point plan to be smart, to have a little intelligence. I don't really have any questions specifically, so I'll just go on mute.
Oh, cool. Well, I mean,
Isn't this Mike with the dog in the pizza?
No.
If anyone has anything after this, while I was spending the last 20 minutes surfing social media while I just completely checked out. Did you guys see like Alec Baldwin and Sharon Stone, like the whole Hollywood elite is like going on the offensive? Like, I guess they're like taking trips to Europe in some stupid summit. And they're like, oh yeah, the reason Kamala lost is because Americans are dumb and they're uneducated and they just don't know anything about politics. I'm like, these people, Basic Instinct chick, like the only thing she's famous for is something no one should want to be famous for 40 years ago. And Alec Baldwin, like, dude, you should probably take a gun safety control class before you talk about how people don't know what's going on. Like, among them, don't point guns at people. Like, these are the ambassadors. Anyways, has nothing to do with what we were talking about, but I just saw that scroll across my screen while I was, avoiding this Hebrew Israelism debate. Thoughts? New topic? Anyone?
I mean, was there a debate? I think that guy just rambled and no one had any idea what he was talking about.
Well, whatever. Speech, soapboxing.
Yeah, there is a
I'm not trying to
Democrat.
Courtney or Steph that did get some of it, but I think the rest of us were just completely checked out.
Yeah, Black Hebrew Israelites are usually incoherent.
There's a Democrat meltdown. Richard Gere has moved to, I think, Spain or Portugal.
He can take himself and his gerbils
There's
with him.
countless celebrities that are having a mental derangement collapse because, and the thing is, if they were so anti-Trump, why are they fleeing overseas? If they're such cowards, why aren't they staying back? And why aren't they going to go to Texas and go to the, rescue ranch and try to help illegal aliens? I mean, they're the biggest frauds and liars. And what do? They think they're going to do like a social media rebellion or something on Meta Instagram. They're all pathetic. They're all frauds. And actually, I got to say, as a 42-year-old who really likes movies, I really regret spending a lot of my time watching, like, for example, Robert De Niro, and you find out his true character, that he's an anti-American traitor and he's a thug and he's a low IQ asshole. But that's Hollywood. It's deceptive. That's what actors do. And it's a hypnosis. So if you want the real hypnosis, open up the book of John, open up the book of Revelation, and you'll see the master of gnosis and hypnosis, John the Revelator.
We haven't seen evidence of illegal aliens yet.
What?
All they've had is hearings, but we haven't seen the evidence of illegal aliens.
Oh, okay. Just go down your street, go to your local bus stop and take a photo. Come back to the room and show us your illegal aliens.
Well, I was wondering where we were going. Do you mean like illegal like outer world Martian aliens, or like there is no illegal human? Sure, like
It was funny, Felix. It was funny. I love it.
Yeah, it went over their head. I know.
I got it.
What did it go over my head, or I'm just trying to figure out which angle he's coming from? Like there's multiple angles.
He's being facetious. He's clearly a Kamala voter.
Hearings, y'all. That was your hint.
Just go to Mr. CEO's room some afternoon and you can hear the crew here on Clubhouse. They've always been lost. Before Trump, they were lost. Now they're lost. They have no idea what to do, what to say, what to think, how to feel. They really believe that Kamala was the option and that America was going to go Kamala. But the truth is, the reptilian brain fought for survival and voted Trump.
Well, did anyone hear Kamala's call? It's like a 10-minute video
You
call.
just got Steph real excited. She started talking about lizard people.
I know, but I'm
She's going
staying
to
on
be very,
news.
very excited.
Well,
I
speaking of
did.
lizard people, did anyone see Kamala's thing? She did that video call, and she looks drunk. Like, it's like the walk of shame, but a video version. Like, all she needs is, like, some smeared mascara and, like, high heels in the background. Like, she looks rough. She's like, I just want to thank everyone for supporting me. You're what makes this campaign so good. Like, she looks rough, man. People, like, even on the news, like, major outlets are showing it. And they're like, one of the hosts, you can hear them, they're like, oh, my gosh, is she drunk? Is she drunk? Like, she looks rough, man. Like, her hair's all over the place. Like, and even Democrats, thankfully, some of them are hopefully seeing the light. Hopefully, they're not just posturing. But they're like, if you blow $1.5 billion, that you're disqualified forever. And then there's like apologists who are like, well, it's not uncommon for people to be in debt. This is not that. Like, you can run a good campaign and then put some debt, money well spent. But you can, well, I guess as well, you'd be just one. But you know what I mean. Versus paying like $500,000 to Al Sharpton that now he's in trouble with MSNBC. They're like, oh, we had no idea she paid him $500,000 before he lightball interviewed her. And like she's giving like $2 million to Oprah, $4 million for Beyonce's like minute-and-a-half speech, or $4 million. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awful. Like she would have done this to our country. Like we dodged such a bullet.
She spent $300 million. She spent $300 million with Google, YouTube, and remember, as soon as she announced, all of a sudden you started seeing massive amounts of YouTube videos to give to her, and it was the she could barely read a script even on those YouTube videos, but they did raise a tremendous amount of money. But they spent a tremendous amount of money, even on the abortion birth center clinics outside the United Center in Chicago.
Can we talk about the reptilians so Steph can be happy?
Yes, no. Lizard people.
No, I'm being so good over here. He dropped so many buzzwords about hypnosis and psyops and reptilian brains.
You guys want to hear some amazing stuff? Ask John to break down Skeletor and break it down how it represents evil.
John who?
Me.
John
Joy. The Skeletor. If you watch the movie He-Man with Skeletor, that that sequence when he becomes master of the universe is what you could call like a Gnostic ceremony or ritual. And just all the metaphors and all the symbols in terms of like old magic are there. It's in the movie it should be called the Skeletor movie, but it's really called Masters of the Universe, He-Man. But it's utilizing technology, Castle Grayskull, a black hole portal to become a god. So Skeletor becomes God, but yet he's still not happy. He's still angry and yelling at everybody. So you would think after you inherit the power of the universe, you might relax a little and take it easy on everybody because nobody can fuck with you anymore. Excuse me. But anyways, it's just the movie He-Man.
My mom wouldn't let me watch that, like the 80s or 90s whenever it came out. She's like, "Yeah, it's evil. You can't watch that."
It is.
Maybe, yeah. Someone wanted to come up here. Who came up here? Resistance. What's up?
Yo, thank you so much. I appreciate the dance. So I have a few questions.
We've got answers.
Thank you, sir. Is murder a good thing? Please, I'm building up to or something. It's not a
He wants to do the philosophical.
Sure. Is murdering an innocent child a good thing?
Wait, didn't we just talk to you like a couple days ago?
I don't know. Maybe I am.
The trouble we're immediately going to have is it's a loaded word. Murder implies the unjustified killing. Killing is just killing. So killing can be justified. Murder is always bad because murder is always unjustified. So if you murder someone, that's always bad. There's no justification. If you kill someone, that could be justified.
Yes, please. Okay. Oh, okay. So are you saying if I go after a man on the street and kill him, all right, let's say murder him and say, okay, I wanted his money, that is justification too. So is that all? Are you saying that's okay?
We talk about justification. We're talking about justice, not like a reason.
Oh, I have a breakdown for it. So if I'm laying in bed and somebody breaks into my house to come in and unalive me and my entire family, and I shoot that person, that is killing the person. But if I walk in and find my wife laid up in bed with another man, and I shoot both of them, that is murder. It's an unjustified killing.
Okay. I don't even know how that correlates.
One is justified. One is not justified. It is justified because it is self-defense. The other is not justified because it is killing with malice and intent.
Okay. So here, let's get to. So is killing children justified? Children that don't know anything.
It can be. It can be.
Yes.
I mean,
if there's an 8-year-old coming at you wearing a suicide vest in Iraq, I actually have friends that have had to shoot those kids.
Well, no, his question, Chris, his whole question is here: why is God justified for murdering babies? Is what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
And so we don't think
God murdered.
We could just. We can just skip to the end and say all the parts where God kills or commands destruction of whole nations, including animals, livestock, cute little baby zygotes are going to turn up to, be evil warmongers. Anytime there's death via God in the Bible, that's justified because God. And
yeah,
God,
because he creates life. He has the ability to bring back life. He's the one that takes away life.
So that's the answer.
Yeah, I mean, is it murder when God causes you to when you fall asleep and you pass away in your sleep at 90 years old? I mean, is that murder? Resistance. Is it murder when a 90-year-old person falls asleep and passes away in their sleep when God takes them? Is that murder?
Well, y'all had two different answers though. I think y'all had two different answers though. One of y'all said that the kids could have been like something like whoremongers or this and that, and so he killed them or something like that. Then somebody else said something kind of different to where
Nate mentioned that in passing. That was like some subsidiary statement to his overarching point, which is God can take life if he wants to.
Yeah, why are we assuming that all life that ends is the strict, direct responsibility of God? Like,
Yeah,
would it be that the 90-year-old, his heart just stops and he lived a great life and his body is worn out and like God didn't smite him in bed? Yeah, it's just the way it goes.
We know that God has allotted a certain amount of time to each
My
person.
God.
So, in a certain sense, you would have to say that a person dies because of God's decision.
My God is an awesome God in prayer.
The thing we all are going to agree on is, did God unjustifiably take anyone's life? No. Every Christian in the room is going to be like, no, God didn't unjustifiably do anything. Everything God does is just. That's the claim of the Bible. He is the righteous judge.
Why y'all think he did it though?
He is
Why you think?
He is the
Because he saw fit
can
to do
judge
it.
rightly, and his actions are righteous. Like, that's the claim of the Bible. If you want to disagree with the Bible, then I guess that makes sense why you're not a Christian. But
I think what Nate's getting at is that everything God does is justified because it's all right because he is God. I mean, he's the definer of good and bad, right and wrong.
Why do you guys think he did it though?
Well, in many
In
cases,
which instance?
well, I mean,
Like in the biblical text, why? Well, does it say why God killed those babies and stuff like that to send them short?
Yeah, it depends on which. Like, okay, the Bible tells us everything we need to know about each instance where that happened. So, for example, in the flood or in the war with the Amalekites, like we know exactly why every man, woman, child, and youth had to be wiped out. So we can look at each one individually and talk about historically what was going on and whether we have a good or evil God there, I guess. But
What
the Bible
about
lays it out.
in the Exodus when he sent them in to the Levant area? Why do you guys think he did that, according to the Bible?
Which passage?
Good Canaanites.
When he said, what?
That promoted the mission's ability to further persecute the Christian atheists, right? Atheists to the Roman religion. Is that my understanding right?
You allow somebody else to answer because I hope people are listening. I'm not reading this to myself.
And clearly, he can't be right because he's a member of the synagogue of Satan. Duh.
But also, Jewish halakhic standards is that if a Jewish Christian, you can turn in a Gentile Christian, but halakha does not bid you any permission to turn in your brother, whether he's an apokorios or whether he is from quote unquote. I'll use a new term. So the Jews were right in turning in the Gentile Christians. They 100% did that, but they find themselves guilty of betraying their own blood by turning in Jewish Christians.
But it sounds like they didn't turn in Jewish Christians. They turned in Gentiles.
Well, I mean, when it comes back, when it comes to the Shemona Esrei, we added that additional blessing to push the Jewish Christians out of the church. I mean, out of the synagogue. So if we added the blessing to make them uncomfortable in the synagogue, I mean, honestly, Caleb, what makes us think that they didn't just turn them into the Roman authorities as well?
No, I have no reason to think they didn't, and I'm actually quite sure that in the political environment, those Jews who were Christians were shunned, right? It's like I have no problem believing that. But then still doesn't really explain. So who are those who say they are Jews but are not? Are the Gentile Christians?
No, what the text is saying is that those who say they're Jews or are not, but are the synagogue of Satan, the article or the source is inferring the irony that these Jews that are of the synagogue of Satan are called the synagogue of Satan because they did not follow Jewish law and not turning in their brethren to the Roman magistrates. And that the actual Jews were these new group of Jewish Christians that were the true believers alongside of the Gentile Christians, and that the Jews that held on to Pharisaic Judaism were the synagogue of Satan because they didn't act like Jews by turning in their brethren.
And that would not be the case right? They wouldn't be labeled that if they were just turning in Gentile Christians.
More or less. I mean, if they would have just turned in Gentile Christians, then the Christian Jews would have still tried to apply this case, or someone 1,000 years later would still try to apply Revelations 3:9 to them still. But they're saying that turning in any Christian, period, was something that went against Jewish law. That's what this article is trying to say, that a real Jew, having suffered persecution from the Assyrians, Babylonians, and Egyptians, the Moabites and the Edomites, they, in good faith, would not turn over another group that came from them over into persecution by the same power that broke their temple.
Yeah, my tingly senses are tingling at this point in the article. Like it's there's an agenda here. There's an agenda here. Then it sounds like this is a messianic group, which sort of is helping me connect a little bit of a dot about what the agenda might be.
I mean, I disagree with it being an agenda, but the Messianics, whether we like them or not, are still allowed their point through history. If they feel as if we betrayed them, then, they feel as if we betrayed them. They betrayed us when Bar Kokhba tried to take the temple. They betrayed us when they went ahead and allowed Paul to run rampant. So it's betrayal for betrayal.
Right. That's why it's an internal Jewish thing, which is why the Gentiles complicate it all. Right? If it's just an internal...
definitely caught in the middle.
Yeah, they're definitely caught in the middle. Okay, all right. Thanks for the moment to pause and clarification. Did we lose Steph? Oh, Steph's still there. Okay, great.
Ema, by all means, please read. Please keep reading, please.
Synagogue of the Accuser situation also explains why the master used the bitter epithet, quote, synagogue of Satan, Revelations 2:9. The Hebrew word Satan means accuser. If the Jewish leaders in Smyrna and Philadelphia denounced the believers as Christians to the Roman authorities, they became agents of, quote, the accuser of our brothers, just Revelations 12:10. Because they became accusers themselves. This does not mean that they were Satan worshipers, God forbid, parenthetically, that the devil secretly controlled their synagogue, or that they employed satanic imagery or ritual. That's not the point at all. Instead, the term synagogue of Satan most probably referred to the informers' role as accusers of the brethren. The statement cannot be taken as a blanket defamation of Jewish synagogues, or even a defamation of everyone in the synagogues of Smyrna and Philadelphia. It most likely refers specifically to those individuals who drew up a list of known believers and delivered it to the authorities. Most likely, the accusers held prominent positions as community leaders, perhaps synagogue leaders. After all, the synagogue leaders were in the best position to compile such a list of names, and they would be the ones the Roman authorities pressured to compose such a list. These difficult passages turned out to be a fascinating window into the situation of the first century believers. The resolution of this mystery underscores the importance of learning history. Ancient texts must be understood within their ancient context. Conclusion. In short, when the phrase synagogue of Satan and, quote, those who say they are Jews and are not Jews. Come on up, Yoshi. When are read within their historical context, they make reasonable sense without any anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic, or anti-synagogue implications. The passages make no hint that the Jewish people of Smyrna and Philadelphia abdicated their status as the people of God by failing to become believers in Yeshua, nor is there any indication of replacement theology or anti-Jewish sentiment in these passages. On the contrary, the reproach of the master uses the term Jews with a positive connotation, holding the term up as a high ethical standard. The synagogues in question were probably the very synagogues in which the believers in Smyrna and Philadelphia had been worshiping from day to day and from one Sabbath to another until shortly before John wrote the Revelation. The master called them, quote, synagogues of Satan, because the leadership in those communities assumed the role of accuser against the brethren. Those accusers pointed out that the God-fearing Gentile believers among them were not Jewish and therefore were not eligible for protection under Roman law as Jews practicing Judaism. Instead, they were guilty of practicing the illegal superstition of the Christians, i.e., an atheism that failed to honor the gods of Rome. The master's harsh words indicate that the accusers who betrayed the believers were not acting in a manner consistent with Jewish ethics, and he turned their accusation back on them. End of article. All praises.
It's fascinating. I still think there's a modern day agenda, but I'm not sure exactly. Still piecing it together. That's fascinating historical context.
You know what? You're right. There's always an agenda somewhere. Always. Good morning, Yoshiabu. Dr. Alberto.
So then this makes it about protection from Rome, right? We don't want to be associated with those people, and we don't want them to have the protection of, a protected class of Jews, because Domitian was afraid of Jews, or he's afraid of God of the Jews, right? So the Jewish community wanted to separate themselves from those really, they said, were really not Jewish, because they didn't want that political situation to be, they didn't want to be confused for some other group, right? And they didn't want that other group to be confused for them. It's interesting because, like, on the other side, those Gentile Christians have been exempt from the tax. Wouldn't that have been a good thing, right? I wouldn't want to pay the extra tax if I wasn't really a Jew.
I wouldn't pay the tax even if I was a Jew.
Your problem.
Fair enough.
The tax came about, so I think it's the regular old divide and conquer. He was putting pressure on them. There wasn't an issue until the taxes came about, and then you have the Jewish Christians, and then you have the Gentile Christian believers. And when it boils down to it, he said, hey, they are observing the same laws like everyone else, so they must be Jewish and they have to pay. That's the context I get. I don't know any other agenda from this article per se, but I'm sure you could dig deep and find one. There are plenty of books that talk about agendas. Jews' agendas, Gentiles' agendas, and everybody's agendas.
And then the rabbis come about and say, no, these people are not Jews. They're just in our synagogues. I mean, honestly, I don't blame the rabbis. The reason why I don't blame the rabbis is because Buddy came 2,000 years ago saying he was king of the Jews and that this temple, that temple, spirit, body, accept me, blah, blah, blah. And the temple got razed to the ground. And then everything that he said didn't come to pass. And the Perushim had been admonished publicly. So this man admonished the sages publicly, only to fail prophecy. And the temple gets destroyed after his guarantees, more or less. So by the time the Romans really put their fist down on Judea, or they start to squeeze the life from it, I don't blame the early sages for turning them in to the magistrate, because I would have done the same thing. It's already insult enough that you all are inhabiting our spaces, but now we are about to be taxed because of your perceived atheism. So no, you gotta go. Now, the business with the Jewish Christians, I do think that is a bit of a betrayal, but I can't question how a rabbi deals with, or how a community leader deals with people who stir amok within his community. Because we see it today. If you have a community of Jews or Israelites and you allow Messianics to move in, you'll wake up and they're running around trying to spread their word. And even if you ask them not to, they still will. So there you're on the balance of, do I protect my brethren who are Christians now, or do I guarantee my community's stability? And I think the rabbis and the sages had a tough choice to make, but to them, their discretion, they made the right one.
Yahashemar El Shamba Hashem Yahushai.
How you doing, sis?
We're hanging in there, just reading articles and presenting different points of view, to which people say there are agendas in them. Synagogues of Satan and whatnot, you know. I would send something with some historical context, which I found astounding, because I had not heard specifically that point of view before. So I decided to share it.
So what makes the Christians think that the Jews are the synagogue of Satan? Why aren't Protestants or Baptists or any other form think that Catholics are the synagogue? I mean, how do you actually determine that Jews are the synagogue of Satan as opposed to heretical or evil Christians that aren't really Christians?
Well, they got to say they are Jews and are not. Christians mainly don't say that they're Jews.
What?
That's what the text says anyway.
I mean, but you do get it that synagogue of Satan is essentially a term describing heretical, evil people, not necessarily just Jews. After all, Jesus Christ was Jewish.
No, Jesus Christ was a Jew. He wasn't Jewish.
Oh, there's a difference between Jew and Jewish? Don't you know what an ish is?
Not going down that, Cap, don't you follow that. We're not going down that road.
I didn't introduce it. He's the one bringing up Jews versus Jewish. I mean, that's pure stupidity.
I didn't bring up Jews versus Jewish. I just said what the text says. The text doesn't say he was Jewish. The text says Jew. Jewish is only in the Bible, I think, one time in the New Testament when it talks about Jewish fables. The term Jewish is not in the Torah, Tanakh, or the New Testament. So I'm just saying what's in the text. So the text says they'll say they are Jews and are not before it says synagogue of Satan. So I'm just responding to your statement about how do you know it's not Christians. Christians don't really say that they're Jews or Jewish. They mainly say they're joined because of the blood of Jesus or something like that. But that text says that these people would say they are Jews and are not. And That's what makes them the synagogue of Satan.
Got it. Because they didn't have love in their heart. Listen, Christ is about transparency, clarity, and love. If you don't love Jews, that means you don't love Jesus, and that means you're not a Christian.
Nothing to do with that text. That has nothing to do with that text.
I know, it's called my opinion. I don't just live my life by a text and what you have to say, Captain. I'm telling you what the message is of Jesus Christ. If you don't want to hear the message, that means you got no ears, and that means you don't know the truth of the earth. You don't know the truth of the earth.
Oh, he's not being Mr. on the stage. Somebody better tell him. It's early.
Yeah, I'm okay so far, but I don't know why you're getting all hostile.
I'll let you handle.
That message you said, that if you don't love Jesus, you're not a Jew. That's not in the Bible either.
That's not what I said. I said if you don't love the Jews, that means you don't know the truth of the earth, and the truth of the earth will set you free. That's love. Apparently, you don't know love, sir. I'm here to wake up Scott this morning, not you, by the way. You are an angry, hateful person. I came here to give Scott a little joy, not you, Captain.
Yeah, you probably gonna give the goo a little joy. Because even what you just said, that's not in the Bible either. Loving Jesus.
You know, there's this thing called integrative knowledge where you get smarter when you read the Bible and you incorporate it into thoughts and opinions. You don't just live your life script to script, book to book. You live the book. You live the script. So again, in summation, you're a bunch of racist, deranged, low IQ, Jew-hating pieces of shit, and I encourage you all to read your Bible so you might have a little love in your hearts, a little love in your life. Love a Jew. Oh, we got him again. Joy took him down. Joy's on a mission this morning.
Go ahead.
Right. So you explain the Bible. Because if God comes and tells you,
okay,
he's
explain
angry, right?
science when I say that it's chemicals excreting from the brain.
I got. Hold on, brother. It's real simple. It's real simple. If God in the Bible says that he's angry, right? What is he trying to convey there in the text? What does that mean?
Well, I mean, he's conveying something that can be perceived and understood by us. Is what
is he trying to help us to understand?
It's when we say God has no feelings, it's because he doesn't have feelings like
right.
us.
Wait, listen real quick. You didn't answer the question. When God says that he's angry, what is he trying to convey to us in our language? What is he doing?
He's clearly describing that he's disappointed with us. You know, that
so is a disappointment an emotion?
But it is not a physical reaction where God is sitting in heaven and shaking his fist and raging out in anger because he just watched like the World Trade Centers fall and he's like mad at the terrorists for like blowing up the building.
Well, God has regrets in the Bible. That's what the Bible says.
Or comprehension because we are seeing it through our human eyes. It is being described to us as humans where we have physical brains and we have chemicals that are excreting from our brain into our body and causing a physical reaction. So when God describes anger, he's saying that he's not happy with us.
Similar right there, actually.
Yeah, okay. So you're saying that God is sitting up in heaven shaking his fist and like turning.
Hey, God is the one, the outward expression of the.
No, it is.
Hold on. Listen, hold on, brother. Let me answer you. Let me answer you. Listen, what you doing is you see a person come and tell you how they feel, and you say you're not really this way because that's not how really you feel. You don't feel that way because you can't feel that way.
God as a person.
Hold on, you said you can't feel that way because your makeup is not really when it comes to the brain and these natural things and these emotions, that's not your brain. That's not you. You don't have a brain. Hold on. I got you. Hey, brother, but you have no Bible text to say that God does not get angry. Because he can't get angry because he has a brain. I mean, he doesn't have a brain. You have none of that, bro. So what are you basing that off of? You basing stuff about
show
God
me
that
where
he's not.
God describes himself the Father.
You're saying that
with
you're
his
saying
physical body
you wouldn't believe it.
and
You
a
wouldn't-
brain, and he has chemicals excreting from his brain to cause a
Brother,
physical and emotional reaction to his
Hey,
body.
so do we? So first of all, we only know as human beings as part. We don't know fully nothing. And so if we know in part, who are you to say that the brain is what causes these emotions? Because no ancient, in the ancient. Hold on, no, bro. And guess what? The immaterial part of you is we don't know what is the soul. Do you know what the soul is?
Bro, we're talking about biological.
Right. And so what is the soul? If you the Bible talks about a soul and a spirit. So what's 10 seconds, Steph? What's the 10 seconds?
In 4 seconds, I'm going to establish a queue. Okay.
Put me in your queue, please, Steph. Put me in your queue.
Okay, hold on. Random has been trying to get in forever, very politely. We're going to have Random, then Paulus, then we'll go back to Laurent. Go ahead, Random.
So enjoy in the queue.
Okay, so my curiosity is, and what I wanted to try to get in earlier was something along the lines of what Laurent was saying, and kind of getting into it is what is
Laurent is on his phone, man. We got to get Laurent off the phone. We can't go through all that and not expect him to listen.
What happened? So I found my headset went out.
Like I said, I was trying to get to this idea.
Laurent is on his phone.
I was trying to get to the idea of asking, what is the difference between, let's say, the human emotion of anger, in the sense of where does it come from, or all the sources that it comes from? Like, if there's a soul, does anger occur in the soul as well? And then also, kind of as it relates, because this was also a topic of conversation, if the Bible says that God is angry, let's say, it says that God is angry. So what is that to the human, both physical maybe and or spiritual experience of anger?
Who's next in the queue?
That's me. Alpha, can you mute up real quick? We can kind of hear your mic. Okay, so your first question, like, what would be the difference between God's anger and human anger, or the human emotion of anger? Well, I don't think that God has a literal emotion called anger, and he kind of goes through these ebbs and flows, like he gets on his period one day and then he's not, or something like that. But I would just say to your second question, though, what does it mean when the Bible says God is quote unquote angry? The Bible is making an attribution, a metaphorical attribution to God, based on our understanding, based off our understanding of, like, what we understand about when creatures get angry. So, for example, like Laurent brought up the example of repentance in the Bible, right? Well, what does repentance look like when creatures repent? Well, repentance in men is man repented of what you created. And in Genesis 6:7, it's used in this exact way. And from this, we understand that God destroys, or, you know, in the case of the flood, washes away the things he has made. But this doesn't imply a change in mind of God, just a change in the mode of acting, or a change in his effects. So that's what I would conclude with on my position.
Can I follow up question?
No, we've got a queue.
Laurent, we're going to have Random follow up, and then Laurent is going to respond.
And then Joy.
So my follow-up question is, when you say that, you know, the expression in like the text, if it says that God was angry, it's not actually our anger. Do you conclude that because of because of kind of a preconception of what God is, in the sense of, let me reword that because that wasn't great. Do you conclude that because if it were the case that God felt anger, as it were, the same way that we do, that would destroy your conception of God?
I think you would make the scriptures internally coherent. Either one of two things is going to happen. You're going to look at passages where he's spoken of as immutable or unchanging, and you're going to say those passages are talking about something else or something like that, and then these passages are like what God is really like, or you're going to do it the other way around. And the question is, first off, which one is more consistent given what we have known about God? And then secondly, which is also congruent with natural theology, because the Bible is very clear that natural theology is a valid and useful tool to Christians, and that we should engage in the practice of it according to Romans 1. So if a Bible passage were to contradict something we know for certain from natural theology, right, it would obviously pose a problem in falsified religion. But assuming that you believe the Bible is infallible, you have to reconcile and interpret those passages in light of what's known from the light of nature.
Okay, yeah, and just for clarity, and I don't think there's...
Sorry to interrupt, Random, but we do have a queue, and I'd like to read some biblical passages on anger.
Joy?
Sorry, are you angry?
Joy, that's the third time you've interrupted me. My patience is waning. Go ahead, Random.
What I was just going to clarify.
Hilarious. Okay, so this is the total Democrat room.
To open doors to opportunities for all our associates, customers, and suppliers, and to be a Walmart for everyone. Well, for more, let's bring in Kevin O'Leary, O'Leary Ventures chairman and Shark Tank investor. Okay, that's Walmart's statement. They're rolling back DEI. I guess my question is, when America's biggest employer does this mean that we are done with DEI and moving? I'm going to give you my acronym. Results, excellence, and merit. REM. I'm a fan of the band. I'm a fan of the idea. What do you think about that?
Corporate America got lost, and then it took a huge lesson down from Anheuser-Busch on Bud Light. We teach that in business schools now. The complete combination of idiot management and the inability to read the room. And America's clearly decided on this issue. And for the boardroom not to be sensitive and understand what's going on out there, they get punished at the store level. Target's a great example. Wow, when they got into that whole gender identity stuff, they got slaughtered. And they still haven't come back. What mother wants to take their kids there and get into gender identity on underwear?
They never really said sorry.
It doesn't matter. The market did it for them.
Sure.
It crushed them. And I think they should get the whacking stick out. If I were on that board, I'd find out who put that policy in place and a whacking and a hacking. You got to start punishing stupidity at the management level. That is how you solve for this. That's how we used to do it 20, 30 years ago.
So Walmart's getting out ahead of that and saying, we don't want that. Thank you very much. We're going to do the statement. We're going to get out of this, and we want to avoid the punishment, basically.
Yeah, but I mean, the customer always decides, and you have to read the customer. The mother, the father that brings their kids into that store to buy toys and is faced with all this, what crapola? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And they pay a horrible price for it, and I think it's great. And that Anheuser-Busch case, that's such a great case to teach managers in business schools, because they are, a lot of them are thinking, oh, gee, it's the right thing to do. You look at the numbers. No beer company in history has been slaughtered that hard. Right from the beer cans being shot off.
We call it a teachable moment. But while you're here, I want to bring up the magical word, $1,000 word.
This is so funny.
Okay, so tariffs, another good word for it is negotiations. Everybody knows this is chapter 3 in Trump's book. I mean, everybody is freaking out on this thing. I keep saying, go read his book. I mean, this stuff, he's getting out there now. Everybody's awake. You woke him up at 2 a.m. with one post. Everybody's going, what? So there'll be no tariffs on Canada. That's very hard to implement. But the challenge with the Canadian situation is different than the Mexican. Trudeau is a really unpopular leader. And in the parliamentary system, he'll be getting whacked soon. It's the end game in the parliamentary system is so brutal. Look what happened in England just recently. It's about to happen to him. So that Trump will not be negotiating with Trudeau. He'll be dealing with a guy named Pierre Poilievre, who's got majority mandate. I think Trump should invite him down to Mar-a-Lago now. I don't know what the protocol and all that is, but he'll be dealing with Pierre. He might as well.
He was much more ideologically aligned with Trump.
Well, here's what Poilievre has already said. I'm going to lift the ban on pipelines. I'm going to kill the carbon tax to be competitive with Texas, and I'm going to open all kinds of investment in Canada. That's Trump's kind of guy. So I know he talked to Trudeau last night, but Trudeau is checking out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Okay.
I want to talk about other investments. Medicare and Medicaid, the Biden administration announced could cover legal fees that found some of those weight loss drugs. Now, for weight loss, previously.
Genocide, all hating each other, and somehow all of them hate the country. They don't want to be in Israel. They just here because of the fact that they just want to. They have to. There. They just have to be there. I honestly think that Israel just doesn't want to be a state, despite the Arabs don't want to get to be like that.
Why are you going crazy?
No, I'm just telling you, it's not wrong. No Israeli wants the Israeli state to exist.
Nah.
I say
I'd say every group of Israelis wants to kick out all the other groups of Israelis.
Exactly.
Maybe they do make up, but I'm saying at the end of the day, this is like one of the finest hours in Israeli history.
No,
right?
Like 20 of you just got made into shish kebab.
You guys got put in a body bag by men that are making guns in their own houses. How does that?
Exactly.
You guys are jokes.
You're not.
With fucking
you're missing the point. You're missing the point. You guys are going to take.
Israel's not a real place.
But the reality is that Israel is showing a military dominance.
Because we're sending you our money. What are you not understanding? If America minded their business, you would be cooked.
No.
America at this point.
America.
Yo, Gaza's cooked.
America is Israel's soulmate.
Hold on. Let me ask Black Rabbit.
I'm about to give him my life.
How many rockets did Hamas send during October 7th? I just wanted him to ask my question. How many rockets?
Is your typical work week a 5-day week in Canada?
Yeah.
I feel like in Israel it's like 5 and a half days.
Hi, everyone. I just want to say that Dr. Jordan Shaw got my YouTube account deleted, so you don't have to worry. All of my Clubhouse recordings from the past 5 years have been deleted. You're all safe, and congratulations. You all won.
Jordan Shaw.
Dr. Shaw is a zoologist who specializes in alpha predator mating patterns, as well as having Trump derangement syndrome.
It's a cheeseburger.
Oh, my YouTube worked, McZan. You're so lucky. You had the most to lose because you're the smartest. You're so lucky, McZan.
Ryan, you're lucky. Remember what we were talking about yesterday?
What?
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's on my new YouTube channel, which Dr. Jordan Shaw doesn't know about. So be careful what you say.
What is your new YouTube channel?
It's always going to, I just decided to go full linguistic program. So all my new YouTube channels are called Subscribe Now, and it's working. The subscription.
What's it working for? Have you been discovered on anything, or you just talk to yourself? No.
You think I talk to myself?
No, I think you take for yourself. Like, who is your audience? Just wondering.
I let the algorithm determine who the audience is, but you can look at the analytics and see who the actual viewers are.
I'm so happy I downloaded that one clip of that whole mockery of Diego and Nora getting. I downloaded that movie just because I was scared one day your YouTube channel was like,
Did you get him the silence?
Huh?
Did you get him the silence please clip?
That's the one.
No, I didn't. I did show him, yeah.
Oh my God, it's Danikith Prime. Hi, Danikith. Congratulations, Danikith. My YouTube account got deleted. You're not on my YouTube anymore, Danikith. Everybody, let everybody know on Clown House that they deleted my YouTube account. 4,500 videos, five years of artistic endeavor, deleted in less than 10 minutes. No consideration. No, I'm so depressed.
What was it? Love Our Joy is Life Now.
Can you send him the one of Diego telling Nora silence, please?
Silence, please.
Send him. I filmed it. Listen, I was in Nora's room yesterday and she got so excited. And then Jazzy's like, that's not Edmund. And she's like, that's Edmund. She's like, that's not fucking Edmund. I got Edmund blocked. And then she looks at my Joy profile. She's like, wait a minute. That's a fake Joy. That's not the real Joy. That's Edmund. And then they blocked me and kicked me from the room.
Did you say hello?
It was Princessia and then that Lebanese chick who lives in, Sweden or whatever.
Oh, this is her room.
This is her room.
It was me too. I didn't give you my permission to.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah.
Congratulations. But my YouTube has been deleted. 4,500 videos, 5 years of artistic endeavor. Literally. I mean, but I got to let it go because Reboino Shalorlaim Hashem has bigger and better plans for me. I'm expanding the operation.
I listened to it, and then I was so laughing so hard because the Backstreet Boy part, do you remember?
Excuse me?
The Backstreet Boy part?
Yeah, the mass report, yeah.
Leanne said she almost booked a flight to Tel Aviv to see the Backstreet Boys. And I was laughing so much. She's so stupid. I swear to God. It was really funny.
So it was that room that mass reported my YouTube account?
No, I didn't. I don't have a YouTube account.
Oh, never mind then. Never mind. Anyways, just wishing you all. I gotta go work on my deep fried turkey. So I just wanted to wish you all happy pre-Thanksgiving.
But how do you know it's not Nora who clipped you?
It really doesn't matter. It sets me free to expand the operation, to continue what I'm doing.
Well, let us know your new YouTube. We will promote it.
Thank you. I will. I appreciate all the lovers and all the friends exposing.
Harry,
We are, people don't realize this, but we are helping make people smarter.
No, but all the stuff he made, all that years of torture, someone got it. How did one person get you taken out on YouTube?
That's just the way YouTube does business.
I a trick, but never mind. Anyway, expand your horizon. Let's see your
I am. I already got 6 new burners just waiting to be deployed. I have individual recording studios now. Like each room in my building is going to be dedicated to streaming the longest running shithouse rooms, especially Chillism. That has to be the dumbest room in the planet. I mean,
I know it's so stupid.
It's pretty sad because Nathan has given his brain up.
Who cares?
Yeah, they're all networking their brains. Yeah, the whole point is to de-network these brains to help liberate people from this app and from what they're doing on this app. They're just giving up. They're giving up their intelligence to a networked room of stupidity. It's unbelievable.
So which one is worse, Diego's room or Chillism?
Probably, God, it's so hard to say. They're so equally stupid. It's hard to say because Diego, I mean, just go. Does Diego ever say anything intelligent other than anyways, we won't go there. It's almost Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly. What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful that I have a roof over my head, that I have my health, that I have a little bit of wealth. I've got family that is doing well. I have You know, I have a lot of opportunity, and I've used this app intelligently, unlike a lot of other people. But see, this is the delusion illusion where we think that people who can waste all this time on this app have their shit together. Like they have their finances in order, they have their families in order, they have no legal problem. The point is, even McZed, with all his intelligence, I've heard him get very flustered and have a lot of anxiety and go crazy on the app, but not really, not compared to a lot of the other people. There's a lot of people on this app that this is it. This is all they've got. And they're hanging on to it for dear life. And they think that they're morally superior or in the right. And unfortunately, we are entering into an incredible change because of the Trump administration that I don't think most people can really comprehend the dynamic changes that most likely will happen. And I don't think they're going to be superficial. I really get the feeling that Trump is going to plunge a knife into the organizational chest of America and start cutting out organs and putting them on a silver platter and saying, what is this worth? So I don't know. For me, the whole app has been a political activity. And that's what I've primarily enjoyed using it for, is political freedom of speech.
Are you breathing sometimes?
I do yoga. I go to the gym every evening, fatty.
I saw that. What you were doing with your band yesterday and with your leg.
Yeah, it's pretty flexible, right?
Oh.
Some people like to screenshot my ass crack.
Why are you bald? Where is the hair?
What was that?
Where's the hair?
The hair on my balls?
No, at your top of the head.
Oh, on my head. My uncle El Normo is here. Hi, Norman. Is it okay to say, you know, I don't know, good Shabbos before Thanksgiving? Is Thanksgiving technically the first American Shabbos?
I'm not Miss Harakat. What the fuck? No.
I know you are not Galilean princess. You sound like Galilean princess, but you are not the Galilean princess.
No, she's the calmer version.
I'm the
what version? Yes, I am the calmer. Yeah, I was sleeping 10 minutes ago, and then was somebody swimming.
El Normo, great news. I'm sure you're happy to hear that Dr. Jordan Schall has gotten my YouTube account deleted, 4,500 videos, 5 years of work. So you're in the clear, El Normo. All your records and all my video recordings of you have been deleted. You're lucky. You're lucky because I was about to sell them all to Netflix.
Yeah, right. Netflix is going to be so happy with that. Just for the record, okay, this room belongs to Miss Harakat, who is a Palestinian. Now the Jews occupied her room too, okay? So what should I do? Why are you blaming me? I was sleeping.
So you are a terrorist for her then?
I'm not Miss Harakat. Oh my God.
But you support Hezbollah, right?
No, I said no.
I'm sure you do. I've had people tell me that.
You shut up. Sit down and relax, okay?
Why are you so mad?
I don't know you. Why are you talking to me? You're not my friend. No, you don't. No, you don't.
I actually do. That's actually cool.
No.
Okay, live streamers, I'm going to restart this live stream. Click on my profile and click the new live stream.
Never saw you, never see you again. Bye.
It's because you